So welcome everyone to Analyzing Data with Power BI. This presentation is for new users or beginners with a background in data and business analysis. So the agenda for today, we will do a quick Power BI overview, and we will be focusing this presentation only in Power BI desktop. Power BI platform is so huge that we wouldn't have time. And we will be creating our first demo Power BI report. Here is a little bit about me. My name is Cecilia Brusatori. I'm the founder and I'm running Magna Data. We help companies becoming data-driven by building data analytics and AI solutions. A lot of fun there. I've been into IT, programming, and computer science, data in general, since I was at least a teenager. I don't want to reveal my age. I'm passionate about technology and data, and I'm a huge fan of Power BI. I have a university degree, a graduate degree in computer science. As per Microsoft, I am a Microsoft certified trainer, professional in business, Microsoft certified professional in business intelligence reporting, Power BI, and yes, there it is, and data analyst, data scientist, all those certifications, a lot of fun taking them. So I recommend that you try them. I'm also exploring the AWS platform, having some fun there. And you can find me and connect with me on Twitter or LinkedIn under Cebrusa. Here is my YouTube channel where I will be hopefully starting soon a Power BI playlist, and you will also find a lot of useful training for guest speakers. Please subscribe if you'd like to be notified. I'm also super involved in the community. I'm organizing two meetups, the Power BI Times in South Florida and the Data Analytics and AI Club. So feel free to join us there. All right. Let me turn off my camera because I don't want to use my bandwidth. There it is. And going back to the presentation. Here we are. All right. So let's do a very quick high-level summary of what Power BI is. Although Power BI desktop software is the most popular component, Power BI is more than a visualization tool. This is important to understand as there is a powerful platform involved. The Power BI desktop is the main application to create content in Power BI as data analysts. It has all the features that you need to create from simple to complex reports. The demos included for today's presentation will be from Power BI Desktop, as I mentioned, because this is where you will spend most of your time visualizing and analyzing data. And also, it's free, which makes it perfect for you to start your journey as a professional. And Power BI is robust enough to be your self-service for business users or the enterprise business intelligence and analytics solution, or this is when the power comes, it can function as both. It can be self-service and your enterprise solution. It is part of the Power Platform, which is a suite of products thought to empower business users with low-code development. It has a strong integration with SQL Server Analysis Services, Azure Analysis Services, and the Microsoft Cloud, which includes Azure and Office 365. At the time of sharing and distributing your data across your organization, this is typically done by publishing or uploading your content to Power BI service in the cloud. Although Microsoft focus is on the cloud, and you will find most of the more powerful features there, there is a private cloud for the government as well. This has to do with special security requirements for government data. And there is also an on-premise version called Power BI Report Server. If anyone is familiar with SSRS, SQL Server Report Services, it is based on the same architecture. And last, I will mention that the platform also provides embedding capabilities for those building custom applications. Let's see how a typical Power BI development lifecycle looks like. As a data analyst, your first step will be getting data from a data source. You can bring data from on-premise or local sources, as well as from the cloud. Your next step will be building reports using Power BI Desktop. Once you are done, if you need to share your content across your organization, you will publish and distribute your content to the Power BI service in the cloud. Finally, your audience will access the content through different channels. That would be the web browser, mobile Power BI applications such as your phone, your tablet, Microsoft Excel. You can also use the virtual reality HoloLens, Microsoft Teams, etc. Today, we're going to focus on how we build these reports. Let's take a closer look at what takes place inside this task. When we build reports in Power BI Desktop, the first step taking place will be connecting to our data. Our data can live in the cloud or on premises. We can connect to files like Excel, JSON, CSV, flat files, databases, websites, and much, much more. A lot of connectors for Power BI. Our next step will be to prepare data, where we may want to do some data shaping, applying transformations, and/or combining data from different sources. In the perfect world, we connect to data that is beautiful and ready to use, but we all know that is almost never the case unless someone else in the organization has done this step for us. We will have to do some work here. Once we connected to all the data sources we needed and we are done cleansing our data and everything looks clean, shining, and good, the data is loaded in Power BI in the form of one or more tables, and we can call them entities as well. And each table will contain one or more columns. With all these tables, we are creating what in Power BI is known as the data model. You will hear a lot about this data model. With the data inside the data model, we then proceed to create relationships between those tables that we brought. And we also can create calculations when we need them. Now, unless your report is going to be a one-time super small project with little data, you should pay extra attention to this step. Most professionals struggle here. And this not only affects your performance, meaning how quick you and your audience will see the results, you could get misleading or wrong results. And not to mention that a good data model makes your life super easier to do the rest of the work, believe me. Next step, we start visualizing and analyzing data. This is where data analysts and business analysts must shine. These are the people who understand the business and statistical methods, and the ones doing the magic by creating visuals, content to convey a message for the audience. Once you are done with your report, you will save it as a file with a PBIX format. The PBIX is ready to share. You can publish it to the cloud, you can send them to someone. Okay, let's move to our demo and go to the Power BI desktop. Let me find my Power BI desktop right here. Awesome. Let me check the chat. Are we doing well? You're able to see my Power BI, right? Okay, perfect. Awesome. Very good. So this is how Power BI looks like. And we will explore the different sections when we bring some data here because it will make more sense. And our first step will be connecting to data. You will find in Power BI that you can do the same task in different ways. So there is probably, I'm going to show you a way and you will find a different way to do the same thing. So it's completely cool. First step, we are going to go to this section right here, and we see this box that says data. You have some shortcuts here. But if you don't see the data source that you're trying to connect, we are going to click on Get Data. Again, some common data sources will display. And for this demo, we are going to explore the more options so you can see all the connectors that are available for you. Have some patience with my computer. There it is. And here we have all the connectors, all the data sources that Power BI provides you a connector to. You can explore the different categories. If you go to File, you will find Excel book, JSON. You can even bring a complete folder, PDF, etc. You can find the connectors to the databases. You can also explore all of them. If you don't know the category, you can go to all and you will find all your connectors. I'm gonna select for this example, for this demo, I'm gonna select the Excel workbook. And I'm gonna hit connect. And now I will be prompted to look for my file. So we locate our file on our computer. Mine will be Contoso. And we open it. What's happening here is that Power BI opened the navigator. So now we are navigating what is inside our Excel workbook. As you may know, we can have their tables, we can have their different sheets. And this is what we see right here. I'm gonna zoom in. You see the different icons. So Power BI identified that we have this sheet called sales and see how it looks like. But it also identifies that inside this, because my file has it has a table, which now is recognized in all the columns and everything. So let's bring this item right here. I'm interested in bringing the sales. And I will also be bringing the employees. Of course, your situation may have way more columns, rows than this, but this is for the example. Let's select this. You see that this table is not ready. We will need to do some work here. And I'm also going to bring this, that we are going to touch on this after. This is just for the example. After we select all the items that we want to bring from our Excel workbook, we are going to have two options here. We have load and transform data. And what is this? If your data, you know that your data does not require any transformation and is absolutely ready to use, you can click on load and you will be able to start building visualizations right away. But most case scenario will be that you need to perform some transformations. So to do that, we are going to click on transform data, which is going to bring us, there it is, to the next interface. What we're looking at here is to Power Query. Power Query is an integrated tool inside Power BI. And this allows us to shape our data, to combine data sources, to make data cleansing. Here it is, perfect. And you can do this by using the interface, the graphic interface, which is fine. And you can also write some code. So this for all flavors. And we are looking here, for example, we are in the sales table. And what we see here is a preview of how our data looks like. Power BI is bringing a preview, as you can see right here. Is the 1,000 first rows. So you're not looking at everything here, and it's just a preview. At this point, we haven't brought any data. And any transformation that you do here, you are not affecting your data sources. So you can play all you want here. Let's do, yeah, here it is, I'm sorry. So the first thing that we may want to do is get rid of the columns that we are not using. This is always a good practice, especially because Power BI brings the data model to memory, and it will be faster and smaller And you can remove the columns by right-click on the column that you don't want. Let's see, I don't want the product because I'm not going to work with the product today. So right-click on it and you click on remove. This is how you remove one column. Now, what happens if I have a lot of columns that I want to remove? Well, you could do that by select one column, hold Control key, select another column, and so on, and remove the columns. But if you have a lot of columns, this is too much. So let's look at an easier way to accomplish this same thing. So if you go to the ribbon, you will see that we have a lot of options to work with our data. We have the home ribbon, which let us connect to more data, to perform, to remove columns, to split columns. You will find you can merge different tables. You can remove rows, keep rows. So to select the columns that we want, we are going to hit choose columns. And now we get a list of all the columns that are present in this table. I'm going to unselect them all, and I'm going to say I want the order date, I want the employee, sales, sales order, and let's work with some numbers. Where is the sales amount? Sales amount right here. Now I click on OK, and there it is. Formation. Okay, perfect. Now notice something that is happening right here. Here we see apply the steps. First, you will find the name of the table. So be sure that you have a meaningful name because this is going to be the name of your table. I like sales, so let's let it like that, leave it like that. And then you see the apply the steps. Everything that you are applying, the transformation that you are applying to your table will be showing up here. So you are able to remove, if you regret removing a column, you just come here and you just click on the X. Or you can also edit those steps by clicking the gear. And also notice right here that we broke 3 items from our workbook, right? And this is called queries. Why is it called queries? So what's happening here is that each data source is called a query. Each data source you connecting to creates a query, and this encloses all those steps that I just showed you. Okay, right here. All these steps are enclosed in this query. And what does that mean? Let's look at what's happening behind the scenes. If we go to this area and we click on Advanced Editor, what do we have here? We have a code. This is called the M language. This is what happens when you create a step. Each time that you create a step, is translated into M code. All right, so we are connecting to our data source. We are selecting the sales item. We are changing the data types. And then we are removing the columns that we don't want. Remember that we did all those steps. Now you don't need to know M. It's super basics, would be cool, but you don't need to know this. But in case you need it, it's available for you. You can learn how to code in M. And also something cool that you don't really need to know M to do this. Let's suppose that you go to a new Power BI report and you want to create the same transformation. You just come here, you copy this and paste it to your new reports, and the same steps are applied. This is very, very cool, very useful. Just be aware that this is happening behind the scene. So let's stay with the click, click, click. We are happier than with that. And our table is almost ready. One thing that is important that you check are the data types. You always want to work with the right data types because this will enable the transformations that are available for that data type. For example, let's get closer. If we go here, you can see this icon is showing a calendar. This is because Power BI automatically detected for us that this column is a date. Same with employee, it detected that it's a number. And here it detected that this is a text. You see SO and a number. Awesome. And the way to change this in case it's wrong, you come here and you select the data type from all the list. If I right click, you see that the transformations that are available to me are related to the date. I can transform this and extract the year. I can extract the month, the week. If we go to the employee ID, which is a number, different transformations are available. See, numerical transformations. If we go to the text field, see that transformations here, transformation for text columns are available. This, something to notice here is that Power BI detected this is a decimal, and we know that this is a money column as the same as in Excel as currency. We may want to change this to the fixed. Now we see the dollar sign right there. Okay, let's move on to the next table very fast so we don't run out of time. Let's see the employee tables. Look at the employee table. The employee table has a few columns, a few rows that we don't want to see there. We want to get rid of the first row, and to do that, super easy, super fast, we go here to this icon and we select remove top rows, and we tell it remove the first 4 rows. Done. Awesome. Now, one more thing. We want the first row to be the headers, the column names. Super easy as well. You click again here and tell Power BI to use first rows as headers. Amazing. And just like that, we are almost done. Let's do something else. I want to have these 2 columns merged. So let's select the 2 columns and right click, merge columns. Super cool, super easy. Separator, I want a space between both, and I want to call this representative name. Awesome. One more thing, one last thing that we want to separate the employee ID and the title ID. And you have different ways to do this same. You can extract. Let's go to the column transform. You can extract, you could use split columns. It makes more sense if you use split columns, it will be faster. And we will select by delimiter. Here we have the options. See that we have, it detected the dash. Let's tell it that it has more than 1 dash. And it will separate by each occurrence. So each time that it's detecting this, it will separate the columns. Okay, there it is. Awesome. And you see that automatically it changed the data types for us. But always check that this is done correctly as you want it. One last thing, and we go to the Power BI data model. Let's change the name of our column. We right click on the column and select rename. Let's get rid of the title there. Or you can double click on the name and you are able to change it there. There you go. I forgot the 2. Perfect. Amazing. All right, so we're done. We're ready to go. Maybe we want to change the name to employee. Right? And now that we are ready to go back to the Power BI desktop, we go to close and apply. And what we're doing here is 2 things. We are closing Power Query because we may not be using it anymore. And we are applying all these steps and bringing the actual data. So let's hit close and apply. Amazing. See now what's happening here. Power BI is loading the data and creating the data model. My computer is a little bit slow today with so many windows open. I don't see any questions. I see Noah Mani. Very good. For information is the last version of the Power BI. 117 data sources. Look at that. All right, so we are here. We brought our data and we see now that in this section right here, we have the tables that we brought and we can see the columns here we can work with. We also see the visualizations that are available to us. And if we go right here, we see that these icons, they are different views. Right now we are in the data model, in the report view. This means that we will be in the canvas and we will see the visualizations that we create. We can go also to the data view where we will see our data. This is easier when we want to create measures and create columns. See that actually these are the what we have available right here. And we have the model view right here. If we click on it, we're able to see our model and see that Power BI already detected a relationship right here between two tables, but I'm going to delete this just for the purpose of this demo. Awesome. Delete relationship, perfect. Let's go back. So let's go and create our first visualization. So different ways to do the same. We are going to create the visualization by selecting the visualization from here. And for this demo, we will want to see who is our best employee, who is the top performer. So to do that, I will want to bring a bar chart, a vertical bar chart. But see that you have a lot of visualizations available to you that you could use. And if you don't find the visualization that you're looking for here, or you're wondering what else is there, you can click in the three dots and you can go to get more visuals. This will take you to the market and you will find a lot of visuals that, are, by the way, are free. Very cool visuals that you can import and start using right away. You could also develop your own visual, or maybe your organization has its own visual. So you can import it from here. But let's create our vertical bar chart. We click on this and this shows up. So we are ready to bring the columns that we want there. We are going to select the representative name. Perfect. Let's expand this a little bit more. And I want to see how much my representatives are selling. Perfect. See that I click on it and automatically it placed it in the right field. But just in case this doesn't happen, you can always drag and drop and change it. Again, let's do it again. Let's delete this one, for example, and I can say, let's bring the representative name. I drag and drop it here. Awesome, perfect. So now notice what happened here. So this doesn't look right. Either all my employees are selling the same or something is wrong. And this is a common mistake that you can run. And what's happening here is that Power BI is using two columns from two different tables, and Power BI doesn't have a clue on how to relate them. So what it's doing is returning the total sales amount for the whole data that you have. A way to fix this is to create that relationship that I deleted for the purposes of running across this error. So to do that, we are going to go back to this area right here and see the data model. And we are going to create a relationship between our employee and our sales. We need to know which is the column that we relate those two tables. This is like, for those who know SQL, this is a join. And we are going to drag and drop the column and relate it. See that this is a different name. It can happen if you have luck. It can happen the Power BI creates a relationship automatically. sometimes it makes a mistake. So you have always, you always have to check that this is correct, the relationship is correct. Now let's go back to our report view and see what happens. There you go. See that now this is fixed for us and it's displaying something that makes more sense, right? Perfect. I see people are chatting about the size. Awesome. Perfect. So you can do a lot of format to the visualizations. Power BI is amazing with this. If we have selected our visualization and we go to this area right here, we find we have three options. The first one will display the fields that are available for you to use. We are using the access and we're using the value. And then we have the format button here. And here is where you can format. We have a lot of options to format. See that, for example, you can format your y-axis, you can increase the text size, and sometimes the size is too small, so you can come here and change that. See? Always watch that it looks nice. Same for the x-axis, you can also change the colors from here. You can also do something that I find that is pretty cool. I don't have those amazing skills of creating beautiful, beautiful graphic designs. So when I see this, I get excited. So you have this conditional formatting. When you click on this, it allows you to do some fun with the colors. And we are using a gradient. And we are basing that gradient on this on the sales amount, on the total of sales amount. The summarization will be a sum. So when we click on this, see what happens. Super easy. If you don't like it, you just click on revert and that's it. You have a lot of things that you can do right here. You can change the plot area. We can change the title because by default, Power BI is taking the names of the columns. So maybe you want to change that and say top performers. There you go, see, changing there. You can also do some font changing. You can do align, a lot of things. You can change the background. You can add the border, and something that I honestly love is adding shadows. So look at how fast you can format your visualization. Let's create a second visualization. Let's create maybe we want to see. I see that we have here the territory key, but we don't have the territory table, right? So, oh my gosh, I forgot to bring it, and it's such a short table. Look at this. Where is it? Here it is. So this is my table right here. I don't want to connect to this table just to bring such a small row. So one cool thing that I can do is I will copy this from here and I will come right here and I will click on enter data. And now I will paste and voila, now my table is right there. Amazing, right? This is so cool. When you have something that is very small and you need something very quick, you can just copy and paste. And now let's give it a proper name, territory. And we can click on edit. This is like the transform data. I guess this was not updated on this interface, but you will go back to Power Query. You could do that, but I think we are ready. We can just click on load because the data is ready to use. And what happened here? Let's see. It's taking its time to load it. There you go. Now I have my table right there, right? Awesome. But remember what we said about relationships. We need to create relationships. And look at that. Power BI detected the relationship already because we have the same name. Where is it? Yeah, we have the same name right here. Territory key. So it's detecting correctly the relationship. Amazing. Let me show you how the relationship actually looks like. Double click right here. See? This is Power BI creating a relationship and is using the sales territory and the sales territory key. Amazing. Go back. Gina, who say one? Oh, no one else saying, wow, yes, that is super cool, right? Power BI is full of all those shortcuts that are amazing. I will show you another shortcut that I love, by the way. Let's investigate what's happening with our territory. I want to create a tree map right here, a tree map. And I want to see my countries. Let's see the countries, and let's see the countries. Whoop. Come on, here you go. And let's see how much money our countries are making. Amazing. Yeah, but this visualization, I guess the other country is not selling that much. So let's maybe change it to a pie chart that is not very popular nowadays, but just for this, we will use it because we only have 2 parts. And to change the visualization is so easy. You just have your visualization selected and you select another visualization. And look at that. Super fast. Now you have 2 visualizations. And you know what? I would like for the visualization to also have the same format as this one. I would like to have the shadows, and I don't feel like doing it all over again. So I will go right here, just like in Excel, and use the format painter. And I'm copying the format from this one, and I'm applying this to this one as well. Look at that. I have the shadow now. If you have more transformations such as colors, such as maybe color for the title, whatever format you do here that is shared with another visualization will be copied. That's amazing. Yeah, format painter is a heaven. Gina says is heaven, totally. So, okay. Now we have, how are we doing our time? We have 20 minutes. 20 minutes. I want to show you something that is very important in Power BI because you may not like or want this behavior happening. You see that when I click on one visualization, something is happening to the other visualization. In this case, just one. Let's create a third visualization so you can see easily what I'm talking about. Let's create a card. And let's bring the total amounts, sales amounts. There you go. All right, so now let's do that. Let's click on one of our representatives. Let's click on shoe and see what's happening. Here is filtering and it's giving me the amount of money that shoe sold. And also here is trying to show me the percentage, right, in the US. But I don't find this very amusing. I think that my audience will have a hard time to understand this. So I would like to change this behavior. And to do that, we need to select one visualization. And if you have one visualization selected, you will see that these 2 tabs enable. See that if I click on the canvas, it just disappears. I need to have a visualization selected. So select whichever, because then you can just switch and click on format. When you click on format, you come right here and you select edit interactions and take a look at the visualization headers. What happens when I click on it? Now I have these icons showing up right here. So I have this visualization selected and I'm going to change how this visualization affects the rest. And here you can see we have, it's going to depend on the visualization, the options that you have. You have at maximum 3. And for the pie chart, it's allowing us to select between nothing, do nothing. You can also highlight, which is the default for this one. And you can also filter. So if I right now click on one, is highlighted. If I change that to filter, look at what's happening, but that's not really meaningful. So what I want is for this visualization not to affect this one. So let's select none. There you go. See that now I touch this and nothing is really happening. All right. Same with this. If I want this not to be affected, I just have my visualization and click on the icon right here. Same If I come here, I don't want this visual to affect, let's say, this one, and I just click. See that now I touch and this is not being affected. And I would like for this, the highlighting, I don't like it, so let's change it to filter. And see that when I click, it's actually showing me the representatives for that country. Right. Amazing. So we have 15 minutes. I'm going to show you something extra. You can play with this and create visualizations right away. It's super easy. You have all the visualizations available right here. You can also create different pages so you don't put all your items in the same page. Please try not to do that, not just because your audience may get lost if they see too many things. It's also about performance. The loading time will be affected. Let's go here and let's create a table. Let's create a table. Easily, you could create a table like in Excel. You just come here and select the table, and then you bring all you want to see there. Let's see, I want to see the representative name, and I want to see the territory country, maybe the region as well, and I want to see the sales amount. Look at how it looks like. Perfect. Oh, awesome. See, super easy. We can create another one. Something that I want to show you as well is that how easy it is to format this table. If you have your visualization selected and you click on the format section right here, you could change the style, and this is pretty much like working in Excel, right? You click on this, and voila, you have something nice right ready to show. Awesome. Let's create a matrix, and I want to show you something cool here as well. Let's bring here the representative name, and let's bring also the region. Let's bring the region and the sales amount. There you go. So something that you could do with matrix as well in the format section is conditional formatting. This is very cool. If you go to this area right here, you could select to conditional format your visualization by a column. So in this case, I will say I will apply the conditional formatting based on the sales amount, and I want the background color to change. And look at that. Awesome, right? You could also say, you know what, instead of the background, I would like to have data bars, or I would like to have icons. You could select icons. See, let's remove this. See, if you go to advanced, you could change those icons. Yes, I'm gonna show you that next. You could change the icons. See, you have different things. You can change the formats, the layouts, and based on what fields. Perfect. I wanted to show you that at least. And I don't want to leave you without showing you something. You see that Power BI is adding this symbol right here. And this is because this is a numeric field. So it's applying a default summarization. When I use this column, you saw that when I created a card here, what happened is automatically it created a summarization. It gave us a total, right? That is because this default measure is implemented there. And that is nice when you have to do something quick, but if you want to scale your Power BI report and maybe have more features enabled, etc., and it's also a best practice, you will want to create an actual measure, what is called explicit measure. And how we do that? We do that by using DAX. DAX language. DAX is the data analysis expression language, and we use it within our data model to create calculated columns and calculated measures. how we do that? We could do it from here, but let's go to our data view right here, and let's work here, because you will see right away the options. And you can create the new measure by clicking here. Remember, different ways to do the same thing. And when I click there, what I see is that I need to write my formula. So this will be the name of the measure. And let's call it total sales. And then I can use a formula, and you may recognize some look similar like Excel. And the intelligence is suggesting what we can use, and it's also showing us how to use that formula. Remember that this is a very simple formula. Then you have a lot to learn with DAX. But just so you know how to start, let's select our sales amount column. Let's bring it here. And we hit enter. Once we hit enter, see that our measure, our measure, I lost my, there it is. Our measure show up right here, and it's ready to use. So let's go back to our report view, and let's replace this and use our measure. We have our card table here, our card visual there, and we will drag and drop our measure. There we are. We can also format our measure. If you have this selected, see the options that we have right here. You could change the format. You could change the decimals that you want to see there. The dollar sign, maybe you are in Europe and you need to change that. So you can do formatting here. Perfect. So we have 8 minutes, and I want to leave some room for questions. Perfect. Let me go back to my data model feature should be done. So there is a question, shouldn't the data model feature should be done at the database level, join all the tables first in a view, then point to the view? So that is a way to do that. If you are connecting to a database, you can totally do that. The less transformations that you do from Power BI is the best, because you are pushing all the work to your data source. But sometimes you don't have the possibility because maybe the database administrator does not let you connect and manipulate or create views. So if you have the luck that you can create a view, do it. That's amazing. Power BI also imports the relationships from a database. So yes, you can totally do that. Yeah, Gina is sharing useful information there. Pay attention to that. I don't want to leave you, there it is, without these tips that are important. Performance tips, and this is just a few to keep in mind when you are building reports in Power BI. Do not bring columns that you won't be using. Always remember that, because the columns that you bring will take space in memory and it will take space in your data model. So only bring what you know that you're going to use. Choose the right data types. You want to choose the right data types. Avoid creating unnecessary calculated columns. I didn't cover this, but let me show you super quick what this means. This is important. Where is the Power BI? Okay, so if you come here, for example, we're looking at the orders date here. Maybe you want to create very quick a column that is the month. Let's say you want to have the month here. So this is not a best practice, but I just wanted to show you how to create a calculated column. You come here and do the same steps, select the table, and these options will show up right here. Click on new column, and then write the DAX expression for the column that you want to create. So let's say that I want to extract the year. I will call this calendar year. And such just as in Excel, let's call the function year. And let's tell it to use order date. Perfect. Awesome. And now see what's happening here. I have a new column that is called calendar year, and it has the year. This is what is called a calculated column. And a calculated column will take space, actual space in your data model in Power BI. So if it can be a measure, don't create a calculated column. That's is a lot. DAX is a lot to learn. So this is just so you know it exists. So we covered that. Try to use the smaller number of items per page. This is, as I said before, when you're in the page, keep it the minimum. The more items that you put there, I know it's nice, I know it's tempting, but it will affect your performance and it will make your Power BI report slow. Disable auto date time and use calendar tables. We didn't cover this, but you want to use calendar tables when possible, when you're working with time series, and use explicit measures instead of using implicit measures. And one last thing, now I get this question all the time. Data and business analysts want to know what aspects they need the most to advance their careers using Power BI. And this is a fair question because there is so much to learn about, especially when you're trying to get the position requiring Power BI. I would like to start by saying that regardless the tool that you use, the three core skills that any successful data or business analyst must have are the business acumen, understand well the industry that and the business for the company you're applying to or currently working for. You need at least some basic statistics, and this can include from formulas to know when to use what graphic to represent your data. And the last one, but not least important, the visual design skills. And this is not only about making beautiful designs, which will be a plus. This is about conveying the message, telling the story in a way that your audience can easily understand it. Now let's go to Power BI. I will start with data modeling basics. You need to understand these concepts, including star schemas, which comes from data warehousing, and how relationships work, because most likely you will have to create, modify, or work on top of a Power BI data model. Next, DAX, at least the basics to allow you to do simple calculations, such as a measure to summarize a total, for example. And this is a new concept, but research about this. Understand filter context is key. Please, please, please do your best to understand this concept and how it works in DAX. I have a video from a guru, Marco Russo, in my YouTube channel when he explains this very simple, so watch it. Last, Power Query and M Basics. It's enough. Until you know the requirements for your projects, the basics will jumpstart you when you need to increase your expertise here because there is a new challenge that requires it. Okay? So then after that, increase each skill depending on your specific requirements. I know that Power BI has a lot, but understanding the foundations will have you ready to take on new challenges. Power BI, as Benny in the session before said, is a constantly changing platform. There are new features being implemented super frequent. Don't stress too much. Just keep yourself updated, maybe with the Power BI blog, to be aware of what's news for when you need it. Last thing, Microsoft remains the market leader in analytics and BI platform. This image is part of the very popular report by a company called Gartner. And I'm showing you this to point what a great advantage is to have Power BI knowledge in your skill set as a professional. This could help you find your next challenge or becoming a superstar in your company as a Power BI champion. If you decide to go a step further, you can take the DA100 Power BI exam and earn the hot Microsoft Data Analyst certification. And with that, I thank you a lot. And let's keep the conversation maybe after my meeting, or if you have any questions or suggestions. I know that there are people that have been working with Power BI. Maybe you have any suggestions for those who are just starting. There you have my information. And thank you so much. I hope I made it on time. It was a challenge trying to managing to moderate and at the same time.